All right, YouTube. Whether you're working around the house or on a DIY automotive project, you may need to solder at some point. So I want to show you how to solder wires together real quick and easy. Let's get started. I'll show you what you need. This is just kind of the basics. You don't need this brand, or you can get whatever stuff you prefer, whether it's Amazon or Harbor Freight. But you want a heat gun, some sort of soldering iron. I've had the best luck with Weller. Wire strippers, you see these are pretty beat. Pair of wire cutters, of course your wire, and some heat shrink tubing. You're going to want to size it appropriately to your wire. This part's pretty important. The label's worn off of this, but this is rosin core solder. That's what you want to use for electronics. Do not use plumbing solder. The flux is corrosive. It'll actually start to deteriorate your wire. So let's get started. We're just going to cut our wire like we would on a project. You can use whatever your preferred method is to strip it. But I like to strip around 1 inch. We're just going to take and twist that up nice like that. There we have our second piece of wire. What I like to do is just twist them together like that. I've seen a lot of other ways to do this, but I've had the most success this way. You want to keep them kind of tight together where your wire's not really overlapping your insulation. You can see I'm just using my bench vise to support this. They make fixtures and different kind of holding tools. That's going to vary depending on where you're working. Okay, on this kind of soldering iron, it's basically like maybe like a variable speed drill. You got a low setting, and that second detent's a high setting. You want to use the high setting for bigger wires, but you're just going to let that heat up. As you do more of this, you'll get a feel for the length of time that it takes. I'm just touching this occasionally with my solder to see how hot it's getting. What you'll see is when the wire's hot enough, it will pull the solder into it. So there, we're finally starting to get heated up. What I'm looking for is for the wires to draw up a pretty even amount of solder throughout. There you can see we've drawn it up. There's a little bit of shine to that, so if it was really dull, we'd call that a cold weld. But I can put some pretty serious tension on that and it's not going to pull apart. So now I'm going to need to trim some heat shrink tubing. I want it to overlap my repair area. A little extra isn't going to hurt anything. I do want to say in a lot of cases you'll want to slide this heat shrink on before you solder. You may not have an open end like I have for this demonstration. We're just going to take our heat gun. There you have it. We have a soldered, liquid tight, insulated repair. I think in most cases, a butt connector would probably do, especially a insulated butt connector. But this is still a good, viable repair. I know in some circumstances it's fallen out of favor, but it's good to know how to do it. So I hope that helps someone out. Thanks a lot.